Hey my loves, welcome back to Sensational Sense, where I help you glow up from the inside out. If you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, fix that now by hitting the bell and join the growing community of sensational ladies all over the world. So in today's video, I am going to do a deep dive into why you need to get more comfortable being selfish. I'm really passionate about encouraging women to live their best lives, however that looks for you as an individual, and there is no possible way to do that with people pleaser energy. So we are going to talk about why you need to ditch your people pleaser ways and what you should be doing instead. Now I know some of you will be uncomfortable already, and you'll already be thinking, I feel so attacked. I'm just a sweet person. I get it, and we're socialized to be that way as women. And I'm not saying that you need to enter your villain era and be completely treacherous. However, if you're honest with yourself, 9 times out of 10, people pleasers have the same needs as everybody else. They're just being really covert about them. So they're trying to get what they want, but instead of expressing it directly, they're being manipulative and backhanded. So the first reason to ditch your people pleaser ways is because people pleasers get taken for granted. Now, I don't think life should be like this, but unfortunately it is. And more often than not, people will never value you more than you value yourself. So if you give out the energy that says, no matter what you do to me, I will always be here, people will shrug their shoulders and say, okay, I can treat this person anyhow, because they're never going to walk out of my life. They're always going to accept whatever lousy excuses I bring to them. So, if you want to be happier, focus more on being respected than being liked. Because if you stay people-pleasing, you will live a long life of people taking you for granted and never fully appreciating all the wonderful, sweet things that you do. Another reason that being a people-pleaser is whack is because no one ever truly gets to know the real you. And the reason for that is because you wear whatever face the situation requires. So if you need to be happy-go-lucky, hey, there you go, happy-go-lucky. If you need to be stern and serious, there you go, clipboard and all, stern and serious. You never actually show up authentically when you're people-pleasing because you're too busy reading the room and trying to figure out what that person wants you to be. Now, it's a really genius skill set to have, even though 9 times out of 10 it's born out of trauma, and there are some instances where being able to read the room and having that emotional intelligence is super useful. But if you use it as a survival mechanism throughout life to try and avoid abandonment, which is what most people pleasers fear, then you're never going to feel like anyone ever truly knows you, because you never gave them the opportunity to. Now, in order to allow people to truly know you, you have to make peace with some people not liking the real you, some people rejecting the real you. But ditch your people pleaser ways if you want to avoid a life of feeling unknown and lonely. Another reason why being a people pleaser does not pay in the long run is because you inevitably face burnout. If you are trying to be all things to all people at all times, where is the energy left for you? There isn't any. Because it's being taken up by what this person needs and what that person wants and what that person needs. So you end up burning out because you're not filling up your cup. You need to remember as a woman that what runneth over is for other people, but what is in the cup is for you. But too often, people pleasers are pouring out of a nearly empty cup to give to others, and then they are left with nothing. Another thing that this overgiving does is create a deep-rooted but often unacknowledged sense of resentment. And that's because people pleasers do not admit that the reason they are doing a lot of these things for others is because they are secretly hoping to get something back. Maybe they're hoping for that person to finally see their worth. Or maybe they're hoping for that person to one day say, you know what, you've paid for this 5 times, let me get it the 6th time. But quite often it doesn't happen because of the first point I made. People don't value you if you don't value you. So oftentimes people pleasers are left with a huge sense of resentment for all the things that they've done for other people that they didn't really want to do, all the positions they put themselves in that they didn't really want to be in, all in the secret and unacknowledged hope that they would get what they wanted long term. So, if you want to avoid being bitter and resentful and mad at the world, stop people pleasing now. So, now that I've outlined why you shouldn't people please, let's talk about what you should do instead, aka how do we enter our selfish, or should I say responsibly selfish era. So the first thing you're going to need to do, ladies, is admit your needs. It's simple. We have to stop shaming ourselves for having needs because everybody has needs. And needs are fine as long as they are openly expressed. Now, is it reasonable to expect everyone to meet all our needs? Of course not. But it is a very healthy place to be in, to be able to sit with yourself and say, this is what I need to feel safe. This is what I need to feel comfortable. So that's step one, admitting your needs to yourself. And then from there, meeting those needs yourself. Because if you are able to treat yourself in alignment with how you would like to be treated by others, you are setting the example. How you treat yourself is the blueprint for others. And then you can, of course, vocalize that and say, I'm someone who appreciates this level of communication. Now, some people will say, yep, I can do that. That's fine. And others will say, absolutely not. And that's fine as well. But step one is admitting your needs. If you can't admit what you need to yourself, you're really going to struggle to admit it to others. The next step to entering your responsibly selfish era is to decide and then uphold your boundaries. Now, I've got a whole video dedicated to this, ladies, because I am very passionate about creating and supporting boundary babes. So do check out that link in the description to find out the power of that short word, NO. But essentially, in order to make sure that you're not living a life of feeling resentful, get clear on what is and isn't comfortable to you, and then make sure you are prepared to vocalize this to others. Next up, and this is super important, is becoming comfortable with disapproval. Now, this is hard for so many of us because we are raised to do things that get social approval from others. And maybe as a little girl, you were always praised when you did something for someone else, but less so when you did something that was for yourself. So, it is going to be a bit of a mindset shift, but you are going to need to be okay with people sometimes disapproving of your decisions. You're going to need to develop a thick skin because sometimes doing what's best for you is going to disappoint other people. And as long as you know in your heart that your intention is not to harm others, you must stand firm in your choices. Some people may think that you unburdening yourself with your family issues is selfish, and that's fine. But as long as you're clear on why you're doing it and how it benefits your mental health, you are in the right. So get ready for an onslaught of criticism from other people pleasers who want to keep you in that box and who want you to feel guilty for advocating for yourself. I never said it was easy, ladies. There's going to be consequences to entering your selfish girl era. I hope you found this video helpful, ladies, and as the year comes to a close, I hope you're thinking of all the exciting and innovative ways that you are going to make sure that 2025 is your year, or at least is the year where you've got a clear plan on how to improve your living. Make sure you check out my other playlists, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until the next one, mwah.